A woman will never walk up to you and say, "Hey, I chose you. Now kiss me before I change my mind." That is not how we operate, but here is what we do instead. And this is the part most men completely miss. We speak with our hands, and I am not talking about sign language. I am talking about a secret physical vocabulary that women have been using since the beginning of time to signal one unmistakable message: I am yours. Make your move. If you these signals, she will not repeat them. She will simply walk away and give them to someone who actually pays attention. Here is something that will probably frustrate you. A study published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that women send an average of 5 attraction signals before a man even notices the first one. 5. That means by the time you think she might be interested, she has already been screaming it at you with her body for the last 20 minutes. And the most powerful signals, they come from her hands, not her eyes, not her smile, her hands. Because hands are the one body part most people forget to control. Your face can fake a smile, your voice can fake enthusiasm, but your hands, they betray the truth every single time. And honestly, as a woman, it kind of drives me crazy how many men walk right past these signals without a clue. She is literally handing you the green light on a silver platter, and you are standing there wondering if she is just being friendly. No, sweetie. Friendly has a very different hand language. What I am about to break down for you today is going to change the way you read every interaction you have with a woman from this moment forward. And fair warning, once you learn this, you cannot unlearn it. You will start seeing these signals everywhere, at coffee shops, at work, on dates, and the pressure is on because now you will know exactly when she has chosen you. The only question left will be whether you are brave enough to act on it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which hand gestures mean I am interested, which ones mean kiss me right now, and which ones mean you already blew it. Stick with me through every single point because the last one is the most important, and it is the one that separates the men who get the girl from the men who go home wondering what happened. The hair touch redirect. Let me start with the one almost every woman does without even realizing it. When a woman is attracted to you, her hands will move toward her hair. But here is the part nobody talks about. It is not just any hair touch. There is a specific version that signals real attraction. She will reach up, touch her hair near the side of her face, and then let her hand slowly trail down to her neck or collarbone. That trailing motion is the key. A woman who is just fidgeting with her hair will grab it, adjust it, and move on. A woman who is attracted to you will let her hand linger. She will slow the movement down. She is subconsciously drawing your attention to her neck, which is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. In psychology, exposing the neck is a primal trust signal. She is basically telling your subconscious, I feel safe with you, I am open to you. Dr. Monica Moore at Webster University spent over 20,000 hours observing women in social settings, and she documented that the hair touch combined with neck exposure was one of the top 3 most reliable indicators of female attraction. 2,000 hours of watching women flirt. That is dedication to science right there. So if she is sitting across from you and her hand keeps floating up to her hair and drifting down to her neck, that is not nervous energy. That is an invitation. And if you do not respond to it, if you just keep talking about your fantasy football league, she is going to assume you are not interested and emotionally check out of the conversation. The object caress. This one is sneaky, and most men have zero idea it is happening. When a woman starts slowly running her fingers along an object, the stem of a wine glass, the edge of a coffee cup, the corner of a menu, she is doing something that psychologists call object displacement. She wants to touch you, but the social situation does not allow it yet. So her hands transfer that desire onto the nearest object. Think about that for a second. Her body is so drawn to you that it has to touch something just to manage the tension. A research team at the University of Manchester found that tactile displacement behaviors increase by over 60% when a person is in the presence of someone they find attractive. 60%. Her fingers tracing circles on the rim of her glass is not boredom. It is barely contained desire. And here is the hilarious part. Most men see this and think, wow, she really likes that coffee cup. No, she does not care about the cup. She cares about you. The cup is just a stand-in because she cannot exactly reach across the table and stroke your forearm in the first 15 minutes of a date. Well, she could, but that brings us to the next signal, the arm touch initiation. When a woman touches your arm during conversation, she has crossed a very significant line. Physical touch is the most deliberate signal in a woman's arsenal because it requires her to override her personal space instincts. We do not just casually touch people we are not attracted to. If she puts her hand on your forearm while laughing at something you said, that is not an accident. If she lightly taps your shoulder to emphasize a point, that is not just communication. That is her testing the waters. She is checking to see how you react to her touch. Do you lean in? Do you pull back? Do you reciprocate? A study from the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin showed that light touch during conversation increased perceived attractiveness by nearly 40% in both directions. Meaning, when she touches you, she is not only signaling that she finds you attractive, she is also making herself more attractive to you in that moment. Women instinctively know this. We have known it for centuries. That light touch on your arm is one of the most calculated and effective moves in the entire female playbook. And yes, I said calculated. We know exactly what we are doing. If she touches your arm once, she is interested. If she touches it twice, she is very interested. If she touches it 3 times and you still have not made a move, she is going to start questioning your pulse. The palm flash. This is the one that flies completely under the radar, and honestly, it might be the most telling signal of all. When a woman shows you her open palms during conversation, whether she is gesturing while talking, resting her hands on the table with palms facing up, or handing you something with a deliberate palm-up motion, she is communicating openness and trust on a subconscious level. Closed palms, clenched fists, hands hidden under the table. These all signal guarded energy. Open palms facing you is the body's way of saying, I have nothing to hide. I am completely open to you right now. Evolutionary psychologists have traced this back to early human behavior, where showing open palms signified the absence of weapons and the presence of trust. So when she is sitting across from you talking with animated open palm gestures, she is not just expressive, she is literally opening herself up to you. And here is what makes this even more powerful. Most women do this completely unconsciously. She is not thinking, let me flash my palms at him. Her body is doing it for her because her attraction to you has activated a trust response. She cannot override the finger graze on your hand. Now, we are getting into the territory where she is practically spelling it out for you. If a woman finds a reason to touch your hand, whether she is comparing hand sizes, reading your palm as a playful joke, or brushing her fingers against yours when handing you something, she has made her choice. Hand-to-H hand contact is one of the most intimate, non-romantic touches that exist. The hands have one of the highest concentrations of nerve endings in the entire body. When her fingers graze yours, both of your brains release a small burst of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. She feels it, you feel it, and she knows you feel it. This is where so many men fumble the moment. She creates this electric point of contact, this tiny bridge between her body and yours. And instead of holding the moment, instead of letting his fingers linger against hers for even 1 extra second, the guy pulls his hand away like he touched a hot stove. And just like that, the spell breaks. When she touches your hand, stay there. Do not flinch. Do not rush. Let the contact breathe. If you can hold that moment with calm confidence, she will know that you are someone who is not afraid of intimacy, not afraid of connection, and that confidence right there is the thing that makes her say to herself, yeah, this is the one. The wrist exposure. I saved this for near the end because it is the most subtle and most powerful signal on this entire list. The inner wrist is one of the most vulnerable areas of the body. The skin is thin, the veins are visible, and historically, it is a point of extreme vulnerability. When a woman exposes her inner wrist to you, resting her arms on the table with wrists facing up, adjusting her bracelet and letting her wrist linger in your line of sight, or resting her chin on her hand with her wrist turned toward you, she is sending a deeply primal signal of submission and trust. This one comes straight from evolutionary biology. Exposing vulnerable body parts to someone is an unconscious signal that says, I trust you so much that I will show you the parts of me that are unprotected. Dr. David Given, the director of the Center for Nonverbal Studies, has written extensively about how wrist exposure correlates with romantic interest. It is one of those signals that is almost impossible to fake because it comes from such a deep, instinctual place. So if you are on a date and you notice her wrists are consistently turned toward you, open and exposed, understand that she is giving you something precious. She is giving you her trust. She is showing you that she feels safe enough around you to let her guard down completely. And if you see this signal and you do not make a move, if you do not lean in, if you do not take her hand, if you do not kiss her, you are essentially rejecting that trust. And a woman who feels her trust has been ignored will never offer it again. Not to you. Anyway, here is the part that ties everything together. And this is probably the most important thing you will hear today. These signals have a shelf life. A woman will not keep sending them indefinitely. She will test the waters with one signal, then another, then maybe a third. And if she gets nothing back, no reciprocation, no escalation, no acknowledgement, she will pull every single one of those signals back like she is reeling in a fishing line. And once they are gone, they are gone. I have watched this happen 100 times. A woman puts herself out there with these subtle but unmistakable cues, and the man just sits there oblivious or scared, and eventually she closes up. Her hands go back to her lap. Her body angles away. She checks her phone, and the man is left sitting there 10 minutes later, wondering why the energy changed. The energy changed. Because she gave you the answer key to the test, and you still did not fill in the bubbles. The window is real. The clock is ticking from the moment she sends her first signal. Respond with warmth, confidence, and reciprocated touch, and that window stays open. Hesitate too long, and it shuts. Not with a slam, with a quiet click. And that quiet click is the worst sound in the world because you will not even hear it until it is too late. So now you know. The hair touch that trails to the neck, the fingers caressing objects, the arm touches the open palms, the finger grazes on your hand, the exposed wrists. Every one of these is a woman telling you without a single word, I have chosen you. The only thing left is for you to choose her back. And the way you do that is not with words. It is with action. A touch returned, a hand held, a kiss that says, I heard every signal you sent, and I am right here now. Here is what I need from you. And this is not a small ask. Think about the last time you were with a woman and something felt right, but you were not sure. Go back to that moment in your mind. Did she do any of the things I just described? I am willing to bet she did, and I am willing to bet you hesitated. Take what you learned today and make a decision. The next time you see those signals, you act. That is the deal. You watch this video, you receive the knowledge, and now the only acceptable payment is that you actually use it. Do not let another moment pass you by. That is the real subscription, not to this channel, to yourself, to the version of you who does not freeze when it matters most. And speaking of signals you cannot afford to miss, everything I just told you about hands is only part of the story, because there is something even more revealing than what a woman does with her hands. It is what she lets you do with yours. I broke that down in full detail in my video called If a Woman Lets You Touch This Specific Part of Her Body, She's Already Yours. That video picks up exactly where this one leaves off. It covers the specific zones on a woman's body that when she allows you to touch them, confirm beyond any doubt that she has already made her decision about you. If you do not watch it, you are walking into your next interaction with only half the playbook. It is right there on your screen.